Trevor Pinder.
Yes.
I'm Sergio Doubt, mate, in your honour.
Honestly.
Ladies and gentlemen, a question for PG Tips. And we wanted to have a little row about sprints.
Yes.
Now, Trevor thinks we're coming from the same angle here, but everybody in the world tells me that Trevor's idea about sprints is different than mine.
Okay.
So I'm going to suggest to you, when I was running the business and we used to run sprints, I used to try to do 5 sprints a day. Now, let me start by saying, Trevor, what's your opinion on sales days?
Not too often. Make them themed and they can be brilliant.
Okay. Gary's idea on sales days, everyone is. Every day is a sales day.
Come on now. No, that's semantics now. You're giving me semantics there.
No, bullshit. Okay, so if anyone's, so today we're having a special focus on sales, well, what's every other day?
No.
All right, so let me talk to you about my idea about sprints. I think you should have 5 sprints a day, 2-hour sprints at a time. And I know there's some argument that it should be 90 minutes, but let's just go for 2-hour sprints. So you do the 8 to 10, 10 to 12, all the way through the day. If you could afford to have a lunch break, brilliant. I didn't have a lunch break for many, many years, but I'm pretty old school with that. And you would have 2-hour sprints. So I would come to you and say, between 8 and 10, Trevor, based on what's on your desk, what do you think you need to do next? So I would agree, based on your desk, not anybody else's, what you need to do next to make money. So what's going to get you closer to the magic dollar sign? Mm-hmm. Whereas I've heard, Trev, that you like 3 sprints a day. One's always client, one's always candidate, and one's something else. And they all do them together. And I don't get it, because if I've got loads of vacancies.
You've heard half right.
Okay.
So I like 3 sprints a day, but I like making them topical depending on what people have got on desk. So if you've got, let's say you've got some red hot live roles, there's no point us doing a company-wide business development sprint when you've got people to speak. Conversely, I don't want you in a candidate sprint when you've got no jobs on, unless that's a sales generation, lead generation sprint. So I want those sprints to be topical against what people are doing. I am, at times, a fan of a company-wide sprint where we all do the same thing together. I quite like the idea of that.
Yeah, so am I, actually, once in a while.
Because what I like then is, as a coach, I can do hands up, get through. So I can be ready. And when someone does get through to someone that they want to speak to, hands up, I can go and do some live coaching, listening to that call, live coaching. So I'm a fan of that. I am a fan of 3 sprints. And the only reason I am is I don't believe there's a business in our stable. Well, I call it our stable. I hope you don't mind me calling it our stable. Because
yeah, it is.
Right? I don't believe there's one business in our stable that runs 5 sprints a day successfully. Now, whether that's the businesses are not good enough or whether 5 sprints is wrong, there is the nub of it, as Shakespeare would say. Lots of organisations, when I get to them, aren't running any sprints. For them to go from 0 to 5 is too much of a stretch. You go from 0 to 2 or 0 to 3, get that woven into your sales DNA and then look at it from there.
So my idea of a sprint is, have you had a wee? Have you spoken to your missus?
Yeah.
Are you going to turn your emails off?
You're going to turn your phone over, notifications.
You're going to turn your phone off.
CRM up, that's it.
If you think about Nigel Frank and how they did it, mobile phones were off during the day. Otherwise, you've got to find.
I agree. By the way, I agree. When you're sprinting, the only focus is to sprint. Your email goes off, your notifications go off, your phone gets turned over.
Okay.
The only thing you need is your data set.
And if I set you a sprint, go on, just say to me, I'm going to ask you what you're going to do. You're going to say, I'm going to get some candidates for this. This role play, right? So, Trevor, what are you going to do the next 2 hours?
What I'm going to do, I'm going to pick up a new live job.
Okay, so how are you going to do that? What's your primary focus to get that done?
So I've got a list of 30 managers and a short list of managers that I've spoken to before. I've got a product to sell to them, and I'm going to call each one of those managers in the next 2 hours.
Okay. Bastard. What you should have said
is inputs and output. No, that's
hang on, right? So be a genuine recruiter. But then please play. Oh, okay. You ask me.
Gary.
Yes, mate.
What we can do next 2 hours?
I'm going to get some candidates for this job.
How many?
1.
Okay, is 1 enough?
No.
Okay, so why don't we get 2? If I ask you to get 2 over the next 2 hours, how would you get to 2?
This is really difficult because I can't be shit. But literally, if I was asking you, it's really hard for me to play shit. But if I were to ask you, so how are you going to do that? What are you going to do? How many calls you're going to make? How many dials you're going to do? What's your message bomb going to be? So that, okay. So explain to me the message bomb. When they call you, what you're going to say is going to be different. How are you going to take them through a pipe? How many of these? Realistically, what you're going to do? So if I speak to you in the next half hour, where will you go? And the idea of sprints, ladies and gentlemen, is principally to allow your billing manager to set the team up for everyone to know what's expected of them, so they get 2 hours back. So they get 2 hours back. So they don't have to do it again. That's important.
Outputs and inputs. Your output, I've got to get 2 CVs out, Gaffer. Great. That's your what? How? Well, look at this list of people I've got here that are interested in this, that have got the right skill set, that have expressed interest in this role. There's 20 here. Right, okay, so your sprint for the next 2 hours is to call those 20 people, right? That's your input. If I come back to that person after 2 hours, they've spoke to those 20 people but only got 1 CV out, we are still mates because they've done what they've said they're going to do. And it's a coaching need rather than a walk around the block need.
Do you know what? The one thing that people could get better at, that will make a massive difference to this audience here today.
Yep.
Everyone is dropping bombs, right? So through either email or voicemail or texts, they're dropping bombs, but their hit rate is really quite woeful. Yep. I swear to you, I get 1 in 2. If I leave
email bombs, that sort of stuff, yeah.
If I leave a message, I'll get 1 in 2. 1 in 2. So if you think about the nth degree, one over here, which is I've got your children, call me. To over here, which is I've got a job that you probably won't be interested, so don't bother calling me. Somewhere in between, there's a trigger and a compulsion for people to call you. Yeah. The further you can be over here towards I've got your children, right, the more compelling it is for people to call. And you've got to test it and test it and test it and test it. And if you're only getting 1 in 10 people call you back, change your message, right? Your activity is good enough. Your messages are shit. So change your message, change your message, change your message, change your message, change your life, change your future, change your house, change everything. That's what you can do if you change your message. But if you keep doing the same thing, thinking I just need to leave more shit messages, it just doesn't work.
Also, let's make sure we take advantage of the double tap.
Triple tap.
I double tap you quite a lot.
This is based on a hitman. So if you ever see a hitman, a professional here, they talk about 2 to the chest and 1 to the head. So if Trevor ever wants to get in touch with me, he'll call me once, won't leave a message, call me again, won't leave a message, call me the 3rd time, and I'll ask him where the fucking fire is. Right? Now, if you can do that with people, you will always, always, always get people to call you back. Triple tap, everyone. Double tap. I've got that in my sink. Trevor, that was fun, mate.
Thank you very much.
Iron your curtain.
Iron your Tashini.
It needs that now. Right, love, peace and love.
Yeah,